Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Salima and today I'm showing you how to make my beef and cheddar cheese empanadas. If you're familiar with my cooking, you probably know how deep my obsession with empanadas runs. In my family, we make these from scratch, everything from the dough to sweet and savory filling, and this has to be one of my all-time favorites. Let me show you how I make them. So my filling for this recipe is very much inspired by a Puerto Rican style picadillo, but it's stripped back a little bit so anyone can make it. You don't have to have any special ingredients. We're starting by sauteing our onion in some oil. We want to get that softened a little bit before we add in our red and green bell pepper. Now you could totally just do one color bell pepper, but I like the combo of the colors that they add. Then we're adding in some minced garlic and sauteing that until it's fragrant before adding in our ground beef, our sazon seasoning, and salt. Now, if you don't have sazon, that's okay. You can just use a blend of cumin, paprika, and garlic powder. And then we are just breaking down and browning that ground beef, making sure it gets evenly incorporated with those veggies and the spices, and really breaking it up into as fine of pieces as possible before we go ahead and add in a little bit of tomato sauce and our minced cilantro. Mix this together again, and we're just going to simmer all of this together for a few minutes to cook down that tomato sauce. From here, you can go ahead and turn off your heat and remove this from the stove. Set it aside while we prep our dough. So I like to make my empanada dough from scratch, but you can also just buy discs at the store. We're going to roll them out before adding our cheddar cheese to the base. Of course, you could use any kind of cheese that you like. And then we're topping with a few generous spoonfuls of that filling that we made. You want to really be careful to make sure that your ground beef and your cheese is in the center of that empanada dough disc before using some cold water to just go around the perimeter of the dough. This is going to help us to seal that dough really well. You'll fold the circle in half over itself and then gently press together the perimeter like you see me doing here. We want to make sure to take our time here to really seal these well, especially if you plan to fry them like I do. It's really important to seal these well so none of that filling seeps into the oil. Our final step here is to just crimp them shut with a fork, or you can braid them using your hands if you know how. And we'll repeat these steps until we've used either all of our filling or all of our dough discs. And this recipe should make about 16 empanadas, depending on the size of your dough discs. And now we are ready to bake these or fry them. You can check out my recipe for details on how to bake them if that's the route you'd like to go. But I like to fry mine in 350-degree oil. They take a few minutes on each side to really get nice and golden brown all around. And I like to keep a cooking thermometer close by just to make sure that oil doesn't get too hot or cold. And I like to fry in batches just to make sure they don't overcrowd the pan or mess with the temperature of that cooking oil too much. And when your empanadas look like this, you can transfer them to a paper towel lined plate just to drain any of that excess oil before serving. I like to top these with a little bit of freshly minced cilantro, and you can serve with whatever sauce you prefer. In my family, we love chimichurri and mayo ketchup, so I usually end up serving with both. And then all that's left to do is enjoy. Buen provecho!